Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Daniel Schulte with Alchemic Marketing here with one of our very successful clients, Daniel Sleep, who has recently booked out his calendar with super qualified appointments. Daniel, welcome on.
Thanks for having me.
So go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you got going on, and about your firm.
Sure. So CPA, also a certified tax coach. I have a very small team. It's just me and two other people, full-time bookkeeper and a client coordinator and tax preparer, and then myself. We do bookkeeping. We do tax prep, tax planning. We've really pivoted into tax planning the last year or two, and working with business owners that make at least, I would say, 500,000 in revenue or more, typically a million, and that have taxable a good tax bill as far as having the ability and opportunity to find ways we can save them on taxes, right? And a virtual firm, right? I only have probably two local small business owners, but everybody else is out of state or out of city.
Cool. Awesome, man. And then just for my purposes, give me like a one-liner of what you do.
We are virtual tax planners that work with seven-figure business owners.
Cool. Awesome, man. So what was the problem that you had prior to partnering up with us and engaging us?
Problem was just finding the right client avatar, right? As far as, okay, let's find a client that makes hopefully at least a million in revenue or more, is profitable, and is trying to find ways to save on taxes and needs accounting services. We were trying to find clients through LinkedIn, through Bark.com. I've used other agencies, and I've also we were trying to do our own Facebook marketing as well. And we saw some success here and there, but then it was just like dead. I knew something had to change.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to say you were running some ads before when I first, chatted with you. What kind of quality was that bringing in?
No quality at all. So, in fact, when I got your ad, no, it wasn't even an ad. You sent me a message, and you went in the back end, right? It was one of those things where you showed me behind the curtain, and I was like, I've already spent so much on marketing, and I just was like, is this just a shiny object syndrome I'm having? But as time went on, I was just like, I'm not seeing any appointments from these Facebook ads, and I don't even know if it's doing what it should be doing.
Yeah.
And I felt like I had a little bit of guidance, right, from other programs, but I was like, I need to at least talk to this guy and see what he can do.
Totally. And just from experience with talking with other people, kind of the stuff that you were doing was really outdated. It worked back when Facebook ads were first starting, but nowadays it's a whole lot different. So, well, cool, man. So why did you choose to partner with us specifically over any other company or vendor?
Partially out of I would say, I had this feeling of desperation, right? But I also knew I needed to get results. When we had our talk, and you went through our ads, and you saw like, okay, here are your problems. You've easily diagnosed what the issues were. And it made sense to me. It didn't seem like it was something you were just pulling out of a hat. And but you had some concerns that maybe I wouldn't be able to afford it, or maybe I wouldn't be committed to do my part.
Yeah.
I talked to my wife about it, and she usually has a better gut feeling about things. In fact, I've done marketing stuff before, and she wasn't. She would be like, I don't know, from what you're telling me, I don't think you should do it. And then I do it anyways.
Yeah. Well, and just to clarify, so to anybody watching, I had stiff-armed Daniel. I was like, you should not do this right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. when you said I don't think you can afford me, and I was just like, not to sound like a young millennial or any or I don't know what they call it now, but I was just like, bet, man, I can't afford you. And it was partially because you were so results driven. You know, you asked me the hard questions. You weren't giving me this fluff like, well, you gotta, nurture and so you were like, no, screw that.
Yeah.
How many appointments are you getting? How many are you closing? And I had nothing to show you because they weren't giving us results.
Yeah.
And you scared the crap out of me too, because when I did commit, you had the stipulation that I needed to give you a bunch of deliverables to work with in order to make it work. And I'm glad that I had done it. But my wife, said you should definitely go with this guy. This sounds like the first guy that actually is telling you the truth and not saying, oh yeah, in about 6 months you'll start to get leads and this or that. We needed results.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I didn't know that your wife had said that. This is the first time I'm hearing about that.
Is I was, when I was kind of like getting overwhelmed because I hate being on video, and but we needed to do it, right? And at one point she goes like, "Do you believe in Daniel?" And I thought she was talking about me, and I was like, I think I do, but she was talking about you. Like, She was like, "Do you believe what Daniel is doing is going to work?" And so I was like, well, I guess I'll take, like, when she clarified, we both laughed about it, but I was like, but yes, I also believe in myself, and I do believe in Daniel.
Yeah.
As far as what you could bring to the table and help our firm actually grow.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you need both of them, Yeah. You need the belief in yourself. Well, because that was another conversation that we had, too. You were like, this is not for the faint of heart, because I got on your ass, didn't I?
Yes. No, I don't think I've experienced as much anxiety working with you, but I will say this. If you really want results, you got to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Everyone says that. Oh, you need to go out, be uncomfortable, or being comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're talking about. It's like, it's easy to say that, but when you're really in it, it's terrible. But with that comes growth. And if you can just continue to, even though it hurts and it's uncomfortable, continue to just do it and follow the process, you're going to get results, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me is I was actually getting booked appointments when we did the videos and, we refined them. And, and I was like, I actually had a booked call, like, whereas before, and they were someone I wanted to talk to. Because I had gotten leads before, and I remember one time this is probably what made me talk to you was I had this meeting with a prospect. We went over everything, not really one I wanted. It was really small, and I remember thinking, well, I got nothing else going for me, so I started pitching him, and he just says, well, to be really transparent, I am actually talking to a few other accountants. And so I don't really want to work with you because somebody else's offer is better than yours. But I remember thinking to myself, it's like being on a date with someone you don't want to be with, but there's nothing else going on. And so you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do you a favor and try to kiss you. And then they reject you. It was terrible. I was like, no, got to do something else.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah. Gotcha, man. Well, so was there anything in particular about our service that really helped you out?
Yes. I mean, I would say there's just a lot of just good guidance on how to pitch your services. Accountants were not the greatest at that. We're more investigative, and we like to say, well, let's see what we can do. Why don't you just give us everything?
Yeah.
And, like, as far as like, I, get recording my sales calls and you giving me insights, and then, I would say the group sessions too with the other accountants really helped me as well. Yeah, there's just so much because yes, you
Yeah.
get the book calls, but now are you any good, right?
Right.
Can you convey your value enough for these business owners? And because
Yeah.
most of them, right, you're getting matched to successful business owners for the
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, unless there's someone that sneaks in there.
Right.
But they're not idiots, right? They
Yeah.
want to see value, and you got to be able to convey that enough and be
Yeah.
trustworthy. And I think you've really helped with that process.
That's awesome, man. Totally. So, as a result of us implementing the process, not holding your hand, but definitely guiding you and coaching you,
Yeah.
what was the outcome?
So I've had, and we talked about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've had 11 calls and I've closed on 4 of them. And they're all clients that I would love to work with.
Yeah. And what does that mean? What
What
when you say clients you would love to work with, what kind of clients are they?
business owners, right? Business owners that make over $1 million in revenue. I closed on a $6 million company. I closed on a $14 million company, and then last Friday closed on a $7 million company.
Nice.
There's only one that didn't meet that threshold,
Mm-hmm.
but he has 8 million in assets, and he's like, look, I need proactive tax planning because
Yeah.
yes, I have a good position right now, but I know I need more things in my arsenal than what I just have.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those things where I kind of did a flip of what you did to me, where you're like, I don't know if you can afford me. And I did the same thing to him. I was like, well, you don't really meet these criteria. And he's
Yeah.
like, well, let me just tell you X, Y, and Z. And he paid for a tax plan.
That's awesome.
$9,800 tax plan.
Yeah.
So
That was this the 9,800 up front, or was this the split pay?
this was split pay.
Okay.
So he's paid 49 this month, and he'll pay 49 next month.
Nice. And you just closed on an upfront deal too, right?
Yes. So last Friday, he was actually overseas, and I got notified Saturday morning he had closed, and 8,800 right up front.
Nice.
So,
That's
and there's
awesome.
going to be
Man.
more services because we'll have to do tax prep for him.
Yeah. Totally.
It's been great.
That's awesome, man. Well, how has this helped your life out since, being able to get these booked appointments on a regular basis with qualified business owners?
It's helped me to, one, look at my client list, and there's certain clients that I am slowly churning out because I didn't want to work with them to begin with.
Yeah.
Some of them have not been paying very well. Like they will have bounce payments, but I just tolerate it because you have no new revenue coming in. So now I'm in a position where I'm not as intimidated with some of these clients that I feel like, oh, if they leave, I'm done, right? It's really opened doors as far as, knowing that there's plenty out there, and I have a way to acquire good clients that pay for the value. So it's definitely, it's still stressful because you're having to do, more work and elevate your services to bigger and better clients.
Yeah.
But in the same hand, it's also less stressful because I know I'm not worried about their cash flow as much as I am worried about maybe some of my older clients that were smaller to begin with.
Yeah, totally, man. Well, that's great. So where do you feel like your firm would be right now if you didn't take action and engage us?
I would be, in some cases, I would be less stressed because I wouldn't be pushing myself.
Yeah.
And then but deep down, I'd be freaking out because I knew my floor was shrinking under me. I knew something had to change.
Yeah.
So
because you have big goals. I mean, you have big goals for 24 when we talked. Yeah. And you didn't know how you were going to hit that.
Yeah, and honestly, Daniel, when I made the goal, I had read this really inspiring book, and I was like, I need to set a goal that scares me. And so I set this really big revenue goal. But then as the year proceeded, I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. And you were the first person that I knew, even though it would be, some cost up front, that would get me to that goal. Yeah. Right? I didn't see another way.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have hit it. I would just be looking at this huge revenue goal and just being pissed off at it.
Yeah.
Like knowing that I couldn't even get close.
Yeah. Totally, man. Got it. So, just last question for you. If there's anyone watching that's on the fence about booking a call to speak to us or engaging us, what would you say to them?
Don't do it, because that means I get to keep Daniel all to myself. More for me. No, just no. If they're on the fence, I would at the very least book a call with you.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I knew I needed was a straight shooter. You went through my Facebook ads. You showed me what was wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew there was value right at the get-go. So if you don't want to grow, if you don't want to look back and say, hey, that kicked my butt, but I am prouder of the version of the person I am now. If you don't want that, if you want to just stay in your lane and be safe and make mediocre income, do not go with Daniel. But if you're wanting to grow and you really want to push yourself and challenge your thinking and your approach and see better numbers and results, definitely just book a call.
Awesome.
That's what I'd say.
Well, for everybody watching, you heard the man. So if you made it this far in the video and you haven't booked a call yet, go ahead and book a call somewhere around here. And Daniel...
Or don't. More for me.
Daniel, thanks so much for coming on here, man.
Hey.
And for everybody viewing, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Daniel on LinkedIn.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Awesome, man. Let me go ahead and stop the recording.